Hi, my name's David Byrne. I'm with the band Talking Heads. We have a new record which should be out just about now called Speaking in Tongues on Warner Sire. I guess you would expect that. And it's strictly pop songs, this record. To my mind, I've made a conscious effort to write some songs that it's actually possible to sort of sing along with in some points, which I think might have been kind of difficult with some of our earlier material. Some of our earlier stuff, I think you could do that, but a lot of it I tended to screech. That was my singing style, so I tried to sing a little bit more because I do enjoy singing, and I thought I should give myself a chance to sing somewhere outside the shower. We were trying a lot of packaging and merchandising kind of things this time. I think partly because we think it is a record that could do quite well for us. And with the radio programming in this country changing a little bit over the last 6 months or so, we think there's a chance that our record might get a little more, there's a bigger chance that it could get played than
what
there was.
What do you think's been happening to radio?
I think it's been opening up. And, well, in some sense, it's been opening up to, let's say, rhythm-oriented music, I guess you could call it, or newer rhythm-oriented music. Something like that. I don't know what you call it exactly, but it seems to have broken down a lot of the barriers that existed about a year or so ago. You hear both black and white music on the same radio station sometimes, which is nice because good songs don't all come from one place. Anyway, yeah, we've tried all these, we're trying all these packaging and marketing things. About a year ago, when we did a live album, I approached the American artist Robert Rauschenberg about doing a cover for us. And it was a little too early for him to do that one, so he agreed to do our next studio album, which is this one. And after thinking about it for a while, we both agreed that it would be nice if it was his cover involved a new approach to the packaging rather than just graphics. And so he did a sort of plastic envelope package with clear discs that spin around and all this sort of thing, which is very nice. And he thought that it might be a record that could get displayed in the Museum of Modern Art's design collection or something like that. That remains to be seen. Anyway, it's quite a nice package, and it took both us in the band and Warner Brothers a lot of time and effort to put it together and see that it got manufactured for a fairly reasonable price without raising the price of the record very much.
You actually had the record finished in December or so of '82?
Yeah, right? We had the record finished quite a while ago, and Jerry and I in the band really wanted, and Gary, our manager, really wanted this Rauschenberg cover to be manufactured in such a way that we would only raise the price of the record, 50 cents or $1, so that it would appear that the record wasn't being discounted, and yet you'd get this sort of deluxe package for a little more than the price of a regular record. So that shopping around for manufacturers really delayed releasing the record, and in the end, we couldn't find someone who could manufacture it for that cheaply. I think we ended up with someone who said prints on bread bags. I'm not sure what they do.
What kind of bags?
Bread bags.
I know what you mean. Okay.
I don't think they do. Anyway, it's a company that doesn't make record covers.
Generally has.
No, and so they were a little bit surprised at being asked to do this.
That's great.
So
if anyone gets a Wonder Bread label inside their package, they'll know why.
Well, we had this leftover plastic.
That's great.
plenty of this color. They, wait a minute, where was I? Oh, so we couldn't figure out how to make it for the price of a regular sleeve or something too close to that. So it's sort of a limited edition now, although a fairly big one.
How many do you know are going out? Last I heard it was 50,000.
Yeah, I think 50,000, and maybe there's another 50,000 being manufactured here that gets shipped to Europe and Japan and whatnot. So to make a record that could be sold for the regular price, I decided I better do a cover myself. And so I did that, when was it? About 3 weeks or a month ago, I guess. And I was quite happy with that. It gave me an excuse to paint again, and I haven't done that in years. And I got carried away and came out here and did a poster as well, painting on the photos of the band that I had around. And that was fun too. But enough of that.
Oh, I think you can say plenty more about that. I was fascinated by what you did to all the pictures. Have any of the band members seen the poster?
No, I'm going to take some back and show them.
Did you describe it to them? Did they know what's coming?
I described it to Jerry. Chris and Tina, where they were hard to reach, they were in the Bahamas working on a Tom Tom Club record. And making babies.
More?
No, it's just the one.
Okay.
They're raising one.
Okay.
They haven't. They're not, as far as I know, they're not making any more at the moment. Yeah, so the cover was fun, and I suppose that anyone in the retail should feel free to add their own touches to the poster or paint on top of our publicity photos if they like.
That's okay with you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. We'll write that up in word of mouth. The cover that you designed. What did you do on your cover that was, separate from the Rauschenberg?
Yeah, mine is. I had some old white sleeves that had been used for test pressings and acetates and whatnot. So I said I just paint right on those, and that way it'll come out the right size.
Yeah.
And so I got out my paints, and I had a bunch of those around. So I was painting about 5 of them simultaneously, and just picked my favorite 2 to send out here. I think on the cover, I stuck there's some pictures of a chair and it looks like a drunken chair.
I saw it. One was right side up,
yeah,
and the other was sideways.
Yeah, one's sort of falling backwards. It looks like a drunk chair. I think I took those a couple of years ago when we were touring at the Sunset Marquee, I think.
Pictures?
Yeah, we were staying here, and that was their old hotel furniture. I think they've since changed.
I hear they don't want rock and rollers there anymore. No, that's actually
I didn't destroy anything.
That.
I just gently turned it on its side and photographed it against a curtain. The cassette version of the record has some of the songs are, I guess you could call them extended. Only extended a little bit. Sometimes they have a longer ending, or maybe the solo and instrumental bits in the middle are twice as long. I think only one song actually has an extra verse in it.
What are your thoughts on that? Why did you get into extending the versions on cassettes?
Well, partly because the cassette buyer, and I guess from what I know there are quite a few people who just buy cassettes to play on their cassette players and in cars and whatnot. They don't get the cover package, and they don't get all the liner notes generally, all the artwork and graphics that the album buyer does. So maybe they can get a slightly longer solo or whatnot. We also had the cassette mastered, well, the same way classical cassettes are mastered.
Digitally?
No, not digitally. Yeah, there's a digital process involved, so it should have fairly good sound for a mass-produced cassette. At least I think as good as you can get right now, which is very nice of people here to do that.
I'd like to ask you one at a time about the particular songs and just get a reaction to you in general on any of the particular ones. Burning Down the House.
Geez, synthesizers and acoustic guitars mixed together. I don't know how you would describe it. I heard the phrase burning down the house at a Parliament Funkadelic concert. They said that on stage at some point. And I just remembered it and I thought, listen, they lift phrases from everywhere. I can take one from them.
Stolen. Okay, making Flippy Floppy. Any relation to Peter Cottontail?
I don't know where I got that from. It's just meant to give the right feeling without actually meaning anything. Yeah, a lot of my words, I think, are kind of hard to figure out what I'm getting at. I don't think one should work too hard at it. The words are meant to give a strong feeling, and I work very hard on them. But very few of them tell a story anymore. I used to write some that tell stories, and I think a couple of these come close to telling stories. But more than anything, they try to just give an impression.
Does the music start first, David? Or?
Yeah, on all these songs, the music started first.
With maybe the exception of Burning Down the House, if you had that phrase, or did you have the music?
Yeah, I did have that phrase, but I didn't know where to put it. It was just a phrase. I think, like a lot of songwriters, I would keep notebooks with phrases that I liked, and then when I found a place, I'd plop them in there.
It's like putting a puzzle together. See how it fits after that. Girlfriend is better. Girlfriend is better. That sounds like something that would have come from from the Bahamas, perhaps.
Almost, yeah. But it didn't. Boy, I have a hard time talking about individual songs. Maybe go on to another one.
Sure.
Maybe I'll go back to one of the other ones. Slippery People to me has kind of a gospel feel. At least the choruses do. And so it was appropriate to have Nona Hendryx and Dolette as backup singers on that one. I don't think they're on any of the other ones. But that helps give it some sort of gospel feel.
Yeah. Swamp.
This is our apocalyptic number, but so it's done in the style of John Lee Hooker.
Moon Rocks.
That one's about someone who eats one of the moon rocks. I remember when the moon rocks were on tour. These little gray stones, they look like the kind of thing...
Like King Tut.
Yeah, only they're just these little rocks.
Did you go... You hadn't saw them, I guess, because you must have it.
I grew up in Baltimore, and so they had them in the Smithsonian in Washington, which was just an hour's drive away. So I imagine somebody eating one, and then this voice comes out of their stomach, and that's what the song is about.
Alien. I like that. Pull up the roots. And what do you find?
I don't know what that one's about.
Okay, this is one that's been everyone seems to be talking about. This must be the place.
Yeah.
Naive Melody.
That one's a love song. I don't think I've done a real love song before. I always had a sort of reservations or a twist.
David, are you changing?
I guess.
Going through a cycle. That's pretty interesting. So this record is a real departure for you in a number of ways.
A little bit.
Well, it seems like the music, you called it pop.
Yeah.
I think as well as pop, it's real dance oriented.
Well, yeah, I just assumed that all our records were sort of dance oriented in one way or another. So I sort of took that as a given.
Maybe I never felt that it was consistent all the way through in just about every song on here.
Yeah, that's true. Some of our other ones had some quirky numbers that might have been difficult to move to.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to the WIA and WB field force?
Okay. Thanks a lot. And we're doing all that we can, we in the band, and I think people here in Burbank as well, because I think it seems to me that a lot of people think this record could be real successful for us. And that time is sort of right for us to make this record and for people to buy it. I think we're also going to tour in August in the U.S., partly just as a response to the change in radio programming. Whereas if that didn't happen, I think we might have postponed our touring. But since that's happened, I think we felt this is the time for us to go out again.